In M&A, timing is everything. For foreign investors entering Vietnam, speed can be the difference between securing a strategic acquisition or losing it to a competitor. But in a complex regulatory environment like Vietnam, how do you fast-track a cross-border M&A deal without compromising legal safety? In this video, we outline the legal strategies that can accelerate your transaction, avoid common bottlenecks, and bring your deal to closing, quickly and compliantly. Early legal involvement. The first step to fast-tracking any deal is involving legal advisors as early as possible. Legal risks in Vietnam are often hidden in areas like licensing, ownership, labor, and land rights. If legal review starts too late, critical issues can delay or derail the deal. At LTS Law, we recommend that legal due diligence run in parallel with commercial negotiations, not afterward. This way, red flags can be resolved while terms are still flexible. Target pre-screening and legal scoping. Before initiating full legal due diligence, conduct a legal pre-screen of the target. This includes a review of company registration, licenses, capital contribution records, and litigation exposure. By identifying obvious deal killers early, investors can avoid wasting time and focus on viable targets. This pre-screening also helps define the scope of legal review and allows advisors to prioritize what truly matters for the deal. Drafting legal documents in parallel. Waiting until due diligence is completed before starting transaction documents can add unnecessary delays. Instead, consider drafting the first version of the sale and purchase agreement or investment agreement while legal review is ongoing. Many legal issues identified during due diligence can be addressed through warranties, indemnities, or restructuring language in the contract. Working in parallel reduces turnaround time and improves deal readiness. Use of term sheets with legal triggers. A well-drafted term sheet with legal triggers can save weeks in negotiation. Include key legal terms such as representations and warranties, indemnity structure, governing law, and conditions precedent from the start. This ensures that both sides align on legal expectations early, minimizing rewrites later. A strong term sheet also gives legal teams a head start on drafting definitive agreements. Engage local counsel for regulatory mapping. Foreign investors often underestimate how many local approvals may be required for M&A in Vietnam. From M&A approvals, investment registration, enterprise registration, to merger filing under competition law, each has its timeline and authority. Engage Vietnamese legal counsel to map out every required step and estimate realistic timelines. This strategic visibility avoids last-minute surprises and allows parallel submission of documents where possible. Pre-collect deal documents from seller. One of the biggest sources of delay is waiting for the seller to provide due diligence documents. Buyers should push for a complete virtual data room before signing the memorandum of understanding. Clearly list required documents and set expectations in writing. Gaps in documentation should be resolved before the due diligence clock starts. The faster your legal team receives complete information, the faster the review and risk assessment can be completed. Drafting conditions precedent for speed. In the SPA, the conditions precedent section can either accelerate or delay closing. Limit conditions to only what is essential, and draft them as specifically as possible. Avoid vague language that requires further interpretation or negotiation. If third-party consents are required, ask the seller to start obtaining them early and include them as pre-closing deliverables. Conditions that rely on regulatory approval should be linked to a clear timeline and include fallback provisions. Prepare for regulatory filings in advance. Many filings in Vietnam require notarized documents, legal translations, and sometimes in-person submissions. These procedural steps take time and must be anticipated early. Work permits for foreign employees, merger filings, tax code updates, and license amendments can all be prepared in advance. Having pre-approved templates and a clear regulatory checklist helps streamline submissions and reduce friction with authorities. Post-closing action plan. Even after closing, certain actions like registering the share transfer, updating the enterprise registration certificate, and completing tax filings must be completed. A post-closing legal checklist ensures nothing is missed and prevents penalties or operational disruptions. Assign responsibility to internal teams or legal counsel for each item, with deadlines tied to regulatory rules. At LTS Law, we specialize in helping foreign investors close deals fast without sacrificing legal safety. We run due diligence and document drafting in parallel, coordinate with sellers to accelerate data delivery, and work with regulators to streamline approvals. Our FastTrackM&A legal strategy is built on deep local knowledge, proactive risk management, and clear communication. Need to move quickly in your VietnamM&A deal? Talk to LTS Law. Visit lts.com.vn to request a consultation and learn how we help international investors fast-track their transactions, legally, safely, and efficiently.